Welcome to episode number 156 of
Is it?
Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. I'm
Is it
your
one-
host, Patricia Steere, and the guy interrupting me is Mark Sargent.
Our timing has precision. Absolutely.
We've practiced this over and over.
What? No.
That's the best we can do.
Yeah, it is. 156 episodes.
Yes.
And I don't know how many hangouts are going on right now. I'll probably have to check later in the show, but it's just wall to wall flat earth stuff now, just happening all the time.
Flat Earth is going crazy.
It is.
Mainstream is going crazy. So many things have happened. We're going to discuss them. We're going to read your emails. We're going to go into the live chat, and we're going to find out why I'm wearing a ripped jacket.
Nice.
And if there's anything else that you're wondering while you're watching us, like what's going on, that might not be talked about, or it might be. You decide.
Nice. What do you want to cover first? I've got my video list up.
Let's talk about what's going on in mainstream right now. There's a lot of big changes going on. We had Bill O'Reilly happening last week, we discussed, and then what's going on in the world?
Hannity is also under the gun right now. They're going after Fox anyway. As you know, the Republican Party, they run pretty much Fox News, and the Democrats, being that they didn't like losing the last election, it's going to hit them with everything they got, which is also why Earth Day. We should talk about that at some length. Bill Nye gets his brand new show, and that is not an accident. I believe that show was built from scratch to coincide with Earth Day.
Yes, and Flat Earth Day.
And Flat Earth Day. The show is called, if you guys, Netflix picked it up, Netflix, the new producer out there, called Bill Nye Saves the World, one of the most pretentious titles I've ever heard of.
Yeah, and it should be called Bill Nye Attempts to Save the Globe, because it's definitely for us. That show is to put a damper on what we are all doing. I don't mean us like you and I, Mark. I mean the whole Flat Earth community.
Yeah, and when he was promoting that show, several different interviews, he brought up Flat Earth, which was fantastic. He didn't have to do that.
No one used to bring up Flat Earth ever.
Now everybody's freaking bringing it up. In fact, just a couple days ago, in fact, I was joking with some of the people in a hangout last night that I'm starting to. It's just common, like the governor of Ohio. He brings up Flat Earth when he goes after Kyrie Irving, and I'm doing the video. I'm going, yeah, it's just a governor though. It's like no big deal. The Five on the big show on Fox, the one that isn't under the gun, they go after Bill Nye and Earth Day because the Earth Day was kind of tailored around anti-Trump rallies. That's really what the big thing was about, which was amazing. And then, of course, all the financial stuff that's happening. There's a lot of restructuring going on with the change in media. Sears, because of Amazon, Sears, a staple in Americana, is going down. They may not survive out the year.
Let's be real. Who really shops at Sears? And I don't mean that in an elitist sort of way, but
that's just it. Your point. Who shops at Sears anymore? But
remember the Sears catalog? When you and I were growing up, that was the thing. A big, giant catalog that would come to your house whether you wanted it or not. Must have cost a lot of money to print that thing. Yeah. And you could order lawnmowers, clothing, and they showed bras and panties and men in tighty whities on the thing. And my little girlfriends and I used to cut out the pictures of the models who always had these stiff poses, not like models of today, but like this, like Action Man sort of. We'd cut them out and we'd put cardboard behind them and use them as like dolls and play with them in a dollhouse. Make little stands for them. And I think a lot of kids used the Sears catalog as basically a creative toy. But I guess parents ordered from the Sears catalog. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I never did.
And Sears also was the anchor of many a mall that were built. At one end or the other, Sears was in there somewhere.
JCPenney.
JCPenney, Macy's, later you had Kmart and Walmart. But they just, Amazon's crushed so many things. Kind of like the iPhone killed a lot of things, but Amazon killed a lot of things.
Video killed the radio star too.
Did. Absolutely. And speaking of which, iHeartRadio may be going down. And that's a big, big thing because they went into it with taking over something like $20 billion in debt, the parent company. Could not make it work. And now they're wondering if they can survive out the year, which is amazing. ESPN, which I have used in many a clip recently because they were covering a lot of the Kyrie Irving stuff. They fired 100 on-air personalities and writers from different shows. I mean, effective immediately, where a whole bunch of people are tweeting. It's like, yep, me too. Yep, me too.
Wow.
Like they've just given their notices.
So what's going on? What do you think is happening? This year, to me, is the year when everything changes.
Everything's getting, remember when I said the probability factor, things that used to be highly unlikely are now becoming commonplace. It's a weird transition year. I don't know where it's going to. We're ending up April here pretty soon, but I've never seen anything quite like it, where the transitions are massive, just massive. There was other companies out there. I forgot who they were, but the financial markets are in utter turmoil at the moment, and they don't know what to do, which is amazing. By the way, let me segue real quick. The Alex Jones thing. I know you knew about it last week, but I wanted to mention that from a flat Earth standpoint, we really dodged a bullet on that one, because remember, he could have been on board with us. And if you get, again, I forgive me.
We know that's never going to happen.
No, but people, in fact, let me back up, because
I see what you're going. I see where you're going.
People probably don't know the initial story. Alex Jones, and this story is not necessarily high profile. It took me a while to find it. I found it through a Financial Times, the first article I sent you, where the financial sector was saying you shouldn't ignore the conspiracy market. Remember what I said? This conspiracy market. It's like, look, there's money there. I don't know why you guys aren't touching on it.
And that's another thing. No one used to ever talk about the conspiracy market. That was just a bunch of weird people no one talked about. And people just said tinfoil header and laughed and moved on.
Yeah. And now there was an article.
Now we're a market.
Exactly. We are a market. Absolutely. We're a market. And they were talking about you shouldn't ignore it. But what was interesting was in that they mentioned that, well, you probably shouldn't focus on Alex Jones, because Alex Jones pretty much just killed his own market, which was, if you guys hadn't heard recently, he gets into, like a lot of people out there, he got into a child custody battle where he was trying to get sole custody of his 3 children, all in teenage years. And he had to go to court. Well, that's kind of tricky when you go to court and you're a probably the most high profile conspiracy guy there is out there.
Right. And all anyone needs to do is show the judge Alex Jones screaming.
Yeah. All they have to do is do that. And that's it. So his lawyer, he made a statement, notarized, signed, and basically made a statement to the court saying that it was all an act, that he's an actor. And his lawyer was very specific about that. He's an actor, no different than Jack Nicholson. And which was an interesting comparison, saying that you can't, and because he's an actor, you can't let that reflect on his ability to raise children. Kind of like you can't use Jack Nicholson's portrayal of the Joker in Batman as an indicator of how he would raise children. And it's like, holy smokes. So 2 things real quick. First one is that should not surprise anybody. Any of your really good conspiracy people, look, everybody's been suspicious of Alex Jones for a long time.
Right.
Because one, his act is way over the top. He's got too many fingers in too many things. And look, when the heat is on, when the pressure is on, what do? You're going to find out who a person really is. And now, was there a gun put to his head? Literally, no. But when you have your own 3 children in the crosshairs, what are you willing to do? So he had to make a choice. Do you keep up the persona of the show and that whole act? Or do you say, nope, I'm totally acting. It's a complete character. And I want my children. That's what he decided to go with. And we dodged a bullet in the flat Earth world. And you know where I'm going with this.
Yes.
Because had we hitched our wagon to him in any way, shape, or form, which I've said several times, I would have totally gone on that show if he would have asked.
Well, gone on a show, but I mean, we've all heard various things. He's controlled opposition, and or that he's Bill Hicks, or that he's both, or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but it was interesting because once I kind of, breathed the sigh of relief once I heard this, because now it guarantees that Flat Earth isn't going to be tied to him. One, we don't ever have to worry about that again. And that he's now going to be out of the picture, because credibility wise, I don't even know why he has subscribers right now. I mean, yeah, he backtracked as much as he could and said, oh, it wasn't, I was just doing what I could for the courts. You know how you backpedal whatever you want.
Right.
But it's like, dude, you went to a court of law. It's not like we caught you drunk in a bar saying this. You actually had your lawyer put this in a statement saying that it's all an act and I want my kids. I don't care about the show.
Well, in a way, let's pretend Alex Jones is totally legit. It's pretty admirable that he would want his children and sacrifice his career for them. But I don't believe
it is, but at the same time, look what you're doing to not. I believe that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Okay.
So look at the fan base, years and years and years of. I mean, longer than his kids. And
I used to listen to Alex Jones a long time ago.
I watched his stuff, and now you're basically saying that all that pomp, all that fury that he conjures up. Now, whenever he conjures it up, how can anyone take it seriously?
It seems so fake anyway, even if the story never came out, the way he screams, and it's just...
It did, but now it's guaranteed that it's fake. Now anyone that sees Alex Jones start losing his blood pressure, it's like, well, Joe Rogan idolized the man for that. So the question is, did Joe know that he was going through, that he was just doing a character thing, or did he actually buy it like a lot of other people did?
It also makes you think maybe Alex Jones is Bill Hicks, because Bill Hicks was a comedian slash, in the acting theater world, entertainment world.
Yeah.
And I'm not a believer of the Bill Hicks, Alex Jones things, although yes, the ears, yes, the teeth, yes, the mole, yes, the accent.
Yeah.
But I still think no, they're different people.
No, because I've seen pictures of Alex Jones when he was quite a bit younger. And look, there's this, that cutoff between the time Bill Hicks was not around and when Alex Jones is on the scene. It's like, I don't see it. I've watched them both close enough. I mean, yeah, they've got some mannerisms, sure, but I don't think it's the same guy.
No, I don't either. And that's one of those things. But this makes it even more of a juicy conspiracy to say so, because, well, he was in entertainment too. Bill Hicks was. So it's a natural that they're both entertainers. They're actors. They're fakers. So it's interesting. It doesn't really have anything to do with Flat Earth, but yet again, it does, because
it could have. It
go on that show, any of us.
Yeah, I mean,
it's mainstream. It would have been a chance to get it out to more people.
It's not just a slight brush. I mean, the Eddie Bravo thing, it was right there.
Right.
I mean, Eddie Bravo is trying to bring it up on the Alex Jones show. Alex will not talk about it, but yet Alex allows him to record a streaming thing at dinner and do it with his co-host. So it was right there. I mean, we were within, one interview away from having Alex start talking about it. And I'm actually grateful that it didn't happen.
We were within shooting distance, except for the Coriolis effect.
Exactly.
Well, let's go into chat and say hello to all. We have got Al Prazolam saying that InfoWars breaks down to the number 33. Wake the Sheeple, Michael is here, says yes to everything but a different guy. That's what I said. Yes, all those things, but he's still a different guy. What else is going on? Karen B is here saying, I am Mark Sargent. That's never going to die, Mark.
It's never going to die.
Bob of Globebuster says, yes, I'm Mark Sargent too. Larry Park says, you folks are nothing. Alex Jones is 1,000,000 times bigger than you. Yeah, we know that.
Not for long.
We know that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. 1,000,000 times bigger than us. And yet he just admitted it was all an act.
Exactly.
So what's your response to that? And he said it in court.
Hello to Flat Out Elected, by the way. He just he does lots of stuff. The channel Flat Out Elected, all run together as one word. Check that channel out. Give it a subscribe. I'm a subscriber. Nathan Oakley was just on a Flat Out Elected show yesterday, I think, and baby daughter Eleanor was there as well, stealing the show, and they were talking about something really interesting about the ISS that Nathan brought up, and we'll get to that in a bit. Shane Corning here, Joey, Sylvie, Candy Franklin, Martin Liedke, hello Martin, Fred Montana, Greg Marone, Larry Parks again saying the show is BS. Larry, yet you're here.
I know.
Welcome to the family. Let's see.
Learn how to troll better.
Nathan Oakley as well says that cognitive dissonance is strong in the Alex Jones audience. Yes, indeed. Let's see.
Oh, and that court case, by the way, will be decided in the next week or two.
Alex and his children. I don't know anything about the man. So, as a real human being, anybody not being allowed to see their children unless they're a mass murderer, I think is sad. So we'll see how that goes. Nora, No One's Flower. Hello. Flying Squirrel is here. Lee Redpath. Livunk Fu Shaolin is here. I have not seen that person before. I think I mentioned True Biscuits and Ridgeview. And hello, James Hicks Boson. I've got something up from James I need to read too. There's a new channel, or maybe it's new to me, called Lucifer Lost, Deal With It. And he says, it amazes me how people buy into Alex Jones. So,
yeah.
So we'll go back to chat a little bit later on and see what's shaking in there.
Okay.
Let's see. I want to talk about the ISS and Nathan Oakley. What have you got to discuss?
I got a bunch of videos. I mean, just tons.
I'll mention this ISS thing.
Sure.
Okay, so I believe it is on the hats of Masons. They have this thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nathan, if it's not the Masons' hats, that looks like the outline of the ISS. Like you just picture if you did a line drawing of the ISS. That symbol, Nathan looked at it after he saw it on a Russian Vids video and said, you know what? That looks like the ISS. And then he came with the idea that I've also heard DITRH, I think, say that maybe the ISS, that you can go on the ISS tracker and go look in the sky and it will come by at a certain time. Maybe what that is actually a natural, as much as anything natural in this created world is, luminary. That light that goes around and above the flat plane is a natural thing. It's not a ship. There's no men on it. All of that's a lie. But that's a natural body of light that NASA has
that we just gave a name to it,
taken advantage of and given the name the ISS to it, or anything else that they've shot up there that would fit that certain.
Sure. Shape. Why not? I've seen that plot used in Doctor Who a few times, which is, you take something like that and take credit for it. You know, there's something flying around, and why not? We did it with the pyramids.
It's supposedly the symbol of Baphomet, according to Bernie McIntyre and also Nathan Oakley, and on the Russian Vids video where Nathan where the idea came to him. So if you think about it, all of us flat earthers have been going on and, showing the bubbles in space and the ridiculousness of the way that they look like they have wires, and maybe they're on a vomit comet faking the 0G, and look over there, look at their hair standing up, it's all fake, it's hairspray. We're looking at that, but it's a magic trick. We're looking in the wrong place. We're being distracted by taking apart the fakery of what's in the ISS when we should be examining the actual body of light itself. And this is all being pointed out by Nathan Oakley. These aren't my ideas. And he pointed out that CD, who had the channel Take Back Space, or the channel is called Take Back Space now. It was CD before that. He has got a pretty good picture of the ISS, or the lighted shape that looks like that Baphomet symbol. And, he's not a flat earther either way. I believe also Jaron has seen it as well. Other people have seen it. And it seems to be that something is existing up there. And I think we should try to look harder at what that is.
That's
as opposed to what's on the, what's on it, what's going on. Mark Kelly and all of that other garbage. No, we should ignore all that. Scott Kelly, right? I get the Kelly brothers confused.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. Why not? I mean, you know me, I've never thought there was anything up there anyway, as far as anything substantial. But yeah, wouldn't that would make sense? Things as I mentioned earlier, we did that with the pyramids. we took credit for the pyramids, even though why wouldn't you? If you're the pharaohs, you come along, it's like, heck, this thing's massive. We have no way to explain it. We'll just say we built it, and within a couple of generations, we'll be revered as gods. And they were. And it held on for a very, very long time.
People do it all of the time. You hear writers getting busted for putting their name on other people's material that they've written, or painters signing their name to somebody else's piece of artwork. Shortcuts, actually. People take them all the time. And this would be really smart of NASA. And that's why maybe they make all the ISS stuff so ridiculous. So we continue tearing it apart and continue not looking at the real issue. So this could be a big thing. So
it's good. I like it.
Russian Vids, Nathan Oakley, and others have come up with this, and hats off to them. Awesome. Or space, whatever, helmets off to them. So nice. Yeah. So that is very interesting. Yes. So videos, what's happening?
Videos. Okay, I'm just looking. I'll look over my list first, and then I'll go into the general filter for the week. So a couple things. Adam Carter, of course, made a brand new video, Flat Earth Smarts 12, called Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, which I put on my channel. I mirrored. I thought that was pretty cool. Bill Nye, of course, goes on one of the bigger radio shows, and when he was promoting his thing, the Bill Nye Saves the World, and you probably saw that video where he literally told flat earthers to take a car, not even just a normal car, rent a car and drive to the edge of the earth and take pictures. That's how you'd prove that the earth was flat. And
so ridiculous. And he puts that information out there like that. So it just seems so stupid to the average person who might even think about looking into flat earth.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you can't drive a car. Yeah, why don't you just drive a car?
It's like, okay, well, and there's no roads. Two, you actually have to fly the car there. So if you're going to fly a car there, why don't you just take a helicopter or a plane?
And since they never gave us those flying cars that they promised us, it's a possibility.
The flying car that's in your thumbnail, by the way.
Exactly.
Which I thought was very appropriate because of the flying car thing that's been circulating this week. I don't know if it was one of the co-founders of Google or whatever, but basically he didn't build a flying car, but you can look it up. You can type in flying car into the search engine and click on videos. You'll see this stupid thing. He basically made a drone big enough to hold a person. That's what he made. It's not a flying car. It's just a drone. Literally, if you took a drone and scaled it up to where you could climb on top of it, that's what he made with little pontoons, and he flew it around a lake a few times.
That sounds really fun.
Well, it is for a, like a jet ski type of fun thing. Sure.
Right.
I'm sure it was hideously expensive because it's a one-off. I don't know if you could actually make money making human
what? Size. Yes, you could. Just imagine all the people who have a bit of money who'd want to get that for their kids, their family. They live on the lake.
Maybe, but I think a jet ski would be more fun than a human-sized drone. Because you have to fly it over water. That's the thing. And you can't fly it too high. It's not like you're going to take it up to 300 feet above a lake because that thing
would be pretty close to actually flying, which is everyone's dream.
Full well, though, the insurance industry would never allow. So it'd be hazardous beyond hazardous. The instruction manual would say, by buying this, you can never fly it over land. You should never take it up over an altitude of, 75, 80 feet, no matter what, because if you fall, you could really, really hurt yourself.
Well, they allow ATVs, those all-terrain vehicles with the big tires that can tip over. And I remember growing up as a child that the neighbor boys had them, and my mom would always say, "Don't go on it. Don't let them take you on it."
Were those the 3 wheels or the 4 wheels? Because remember, they started discontinuing the 3 wheels because
it was the 3 wheels.
Because they were crippling people.
Right.
Because they had a big back end, and so the front tire would dig in and just flip everybody over.
Yes, that was the one my mom said, don't go around them.
Sorry, but I'm going off into the weeds here for a second.
No, that's where we always are. This show should be called Going Off into the Weeds, episode number 156.
Good point. The other video I made right after the Bill Nye did the Drive to the Edge one was Flat Earth enemy Neil Tyson rants about the anti-science movement. Again, no accident, coinciding with Earth Day.
Anti-science, anti-vaxxer, that same way of painting us in a negative light.
Yeah, where he's making a documentary. The documentary is not ready yet, but he made a documentary that I don't know if I could take a guess on who funded it, where he is attacking anybody that's anti-science. And it's fun. So I took a couple clips out of that, and my God, the arrogance listening to him, oh, it was so bad. I mean, Bill Nye was bad, but Neil was way, way worse.
And, you know, Bill Nye really, I mean, is really an actor / comedian.
Oh,
Speaking
yeah.
of people nothing wrong with being an actor or actress. That doesn't mean anything bad. There's people who are flat earthers now who have a background in acting. There's people that are flat earthers now that probably, you know, worked for, you know, I don't know, all sorts of companies that we now would say, oh, that's bad, because we all had lives before we discovered this sort of thing. But Bill Nye, yeah, you know.
Yeah, but if you're an actor, you don't get to go on climate change panels.
He's not a real scientist. It's weird.
You don't get to go on a panel with other astrophysicists. Why is Bill Nye sitting next to Neil deGrasse Tyson in an astrophysicist panel talking about quantum particles? Why is he? It's just awful. Anyway, so Neil did that. I can't wait to see how that documentary plays out, because it's going to be a nightmare. Then I did Q&A emails 33, but who cares really about that? But I wanted to make note that Candy Franklin got her NASA-ized license plate, which is a whole new take on license plates.
It's the best license plate within the flat Earth community who have license plates.
Yeah,
it's NASA-ized. I mean, Candy Franklin. Yeah, girl, that's good.
it's not the only one either. There's another one already coming in, and I'm not going to say what state it's from. And so it gives you guys ideas. You know, what can you do with 8 letters? What can you do with 7 letters? It doesn't have to be it's flat. There's already a lot of it's flat license plates out there, although I agree that it's flat is very cool, as you can see from the banner behind me.
Mine is cool too. Flat Earth.
Flat Earth is also cool.
RTH.
Any flat Earth license plate is rocking cool. I did the other video. Ohio Governor John Kasich trolls Kyrie Irving and flat Earth. TMZ ambushed him outside of a construction site, it looked like, and they asked him about flat Earth. And it was interesting because he was talking to him pretty good about the playoffs. Once they started into flat Earth, he cut that interview short, which I thought was very, very interesting. Fox News went after Bill Nye and Earth Day, which was also interesting because they called out Bill Nye for what he was. They said, "Look, he's a comedian with a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. That's all he is." And they were quick to point that out. He's like, "There's no reason for him to be like me." You've heard my rants. There's no reason for him to be on television.
Right. He's on shows now. I think it's great if we forget about flat Earth, forget that even exists, that somebody was able to get that much growth being a comedian and then becoming, I guess, an actor and going on all these shows and being very successful. If I didn't know about flat Earth, I would think that's pretty great, you know?
Yeah.
But in reality, he's perpetuating lies. So
he took, I'll end my Bill Nye rant on this. He took that science guy thing. Remember, it was only a show on PBS before syndication for 5, maybe pushing 6 years, right? And he wore that sucker. He ran those tires down to the rims. I mean, here he is, in his mid to late 60s. He's still doing the same shtick. That's
how many lab coats?
How many bow ties? How many bow ties does that man own? Oh my God. It's such an easy hook for him to do.
Yeah.
So,
well, it was your birthday on Monday, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. And I want to mention the fact that we mentioned it on our last show, but the way our shows are on Wednesday, we mentioned it before and now I'm mentioning it after. But I did make a post on my Facebook, and I know you don't do Facebook.
No, I don't do Facebook.
I went on my Facebook and posted, it's Mark Sargent's birthday today, FYI. And there are, looks like 55 comments, 135 likes. And I'm just going to read you a couple of them just because I want you to bask in the love of the community. Angela Cope writes, he's not on Facebook, so he can't say happy birthday, but happy birthday, Mark. And I said, I know, we are now saying it across the plain. Rob McGowan wishes you happy birthday. Deborah Cibula, Sean Christian Parker, Paul Pimentel, and Paula says, you'll have to let him know all the Facebook flat earthers are wishing him birthday wishes. And I did say that I'd be reading it here live. Mary Hughes, have a flatabulous day, Mark. Rachel Leahy says, happy birthday, Mark. Stephen O'Donnell says, cut up some flat earth cake. Mandy Barr wishes you a happy birthday. Don Johnson. Stefan Johannes writes something kind of fun. I remember watching you guys last year when there was lots of sexual tension between you both. I fell asleep. Maybe. Everyone used to say that. I fell asleep one time when you had a couple of guests on different screens online. I had a dream where you guys ended up together on one screen and your guests were still talking, but you guys were kissing, and then I woke up.
Wow. Share much?
Funny.
Holy smokes, man.
Nelson Swigger Jr. also saying happy birthday.
Swigger? That's the last name?
Must be doing a lot of drinking. Rick Mayer, Denise Kinahan, Jason Clark, Jennifer Giles Davis, Ryan Cataldi, Danny Powers. Danny says, pretty long comment here for your Mark for your birthday. He says, thank you so much for waking me up to Flat Earth with the brilliant documentary Under the Dome, which, as we all know, Mark didn't put together. Somebody else took all of the clues and put it together. Yeah, called it Under the Dome, but it is Mark's work.
It's my stuff, but yeah.
Right. Danny writes, we all understand the conspiracy community is naturally paranoid, and many of us have at one time or another been accused of being shills. Well, certainly not Mark or I.
No.
But I don't think you are. You seem too genuinely decent a person. And even if you were, you've still created something so positive, which has done more good in the world than perhaps you even realize. So I'd forgive you of being some sort of dastardly gatekeeper, even if you were one. Then he writes, I thought Flat Earth was ridiculous until I saw Under the Dome. That movie put the pieces of the puzzle together, and the Flat Earth Awakening has taken me on the path to wake up to many other truths. And he also goes ahead and thanks me and my show too. That's nice. So that's wonderful. Ryle Rao Mam, Jennifer Cheney Ford, Rochelle Andrade, Cal Cunningham, Stacy Curtis, DITRH says we are all Mark Sargent in this Facebook post of birthday wishes. Chris Bentley, Mary Eichart, Chad Davis, George Koch, Charlie Oliver, Marion Holsomer, Matthew McCollum, Joey Oakrey, Lauren Ferrer, Mark Smithson, Ori Jessica Tillis, Jade Von L, Stephanie Richards, I will get to the end of this, and Bert Novella all wished you happy birthday.
Well, thank you to everyone. I don't have the words, but yet I do, which is it is much appreciated, and thank you. And again, I'm just along for the ride with you guys, part of the big journey, and I'm sure I will be as excited as you are when we finally get to whatever conclusion lays in wait.
Yes. Isn't it exciting? And we're all on this journey together, even if some people fight with each other that are flat earthers or flat earth curious. You know what I'm talking about by flat earth curious. I mean, the people who are interested but don't post, they don't have channels.
I was thinking of the gay people that were into flat earth.
Well, yeah. Okay. But yes, there's those people that are there that are watching shows. And they're not fully committed. Plus, I also mean the people who are flat earth curious that are here with us in Hangouts, and they're arguing for the globe, or those who believe we're geocentric, but it's not flat. All of these people, all of us, we're here. And the fighting amongst each other seems pretty ridiculous when we all agree, well, except for the ones who fight for the globe, we all agree that we're not living on a spinning ball. So I always encourage people to just stop with the fighting. Come on, we got bigger and better and more important things
especially now. I just think a lot of the fighting has somewhat diminished, because look at that sheer amount of hangouts that are happening all the time now. I mean, I go through and I feel bad because everybody's stepping on each other's toes. There's like 4 simultaneous hangouts. This one's got 90 people. This one's got 30. This one's got 200. And in fact, what was the Globebusters and Dell were running simultaneous.
Yes, exactly. And it was funny because I saw people bouncing back and forth between them. And
I was bouncing back and forth.
The view counts for both of them were less than they would normally be, if that makes sense. But it didn't really matter because it's all the shows can be watched non-live later.
Yeah.
Right.
And Dell's just on a tear. He just keeps doing them. And who's the other one recent? You've Been Exposed.
Oh, You've Been Exposed. Those guys are great.
That's entertainment right there. There's so much enthusiasm in that group.
And there's so many cool people. I go in, and a lot of people there, like in the chat, might not know me. Not that I'm well known. I don't mean that. But, you know, in Flat Earth, we all know each other's names, right? Yeah. I go in, and there's some people there that don't know me. And one random person starts saying something bad. And immediately all the nice people come in and just greet me and say hello. And this one person who's saying, "You're a shill," basically gets drowned out. Yeah. Doesn't get chastised or thrown out, but he just kind of sort of faded away because he thought what he was saying was going to gain some traction. But no, because a lot of people are realizing that it's us against them.
Yeah, you can't be a garden variety troll. In fact, you can't be a new troll coming into Flat Earth. It's tough. It's tough to be even a veteran troll in this community. But to be a neutral, what happened to you? I can imagine that happens all the time.
And people actually, come in,
take some shots. And
with most of the trolls, I pretty much stay pleasant with them. I don't argue with them because they've got their view, I've got mine, and for the most part, we've come to some sort of begrudging respect where we leave each other alone. It used to not be that way, but at this moment, there's been a truce with trolls trying to troll me. So probably this whole show will be totally trolled now after I said that. Well, come on in. Come on in. The water's fine.
Well, as you know, you and I have talked about this, whereas there's so many targets, and I won't mention too many people by name, but, you know, when there's so many different people doing Flat Earth now, you're outnumbered and outgunned to such a degree. It's like, who are you going to pick? You pick your top 6, and what are you going to do there? And plus the body of work. You're going to go after every one of my 600 videos. What are you going to do? You know, not to mention there's thousands and thousands and thousands of videos just within the core, you know, the people that are like doing the conference. Plus everyone else that's coming in. There's only so much trolling you can do before you just run out of gas and say, that's it, I'm done.
Trolling just seems to be a waste of time. And maybe it's
a waste of
fun
time
for some people, I guess, but there's a limit where I would think that you would have something that you would be passionate about that you would go explore. Why are you trolling Flat Earth? Because you believe in globe Earth. Well, okay, go ahead and believe in globe Earth. You're in the majority. You know, just to go enjoy your life. Why?
If you want to troll, which is when I was talking about,
unless you're a paid troll, then I get it.
Yeah, unless you're a paid troll.
If there's such a thing as a paid troll, we've heard that there are. I don't have any personal proof.
There's tons. I mean, if you're a troll, you can. I mean, YouTube is a gold mine. You can troll all sorts of channels all day long. Doesn't Flat Earth? That's not a community you want to go up against.
I wonder if there's trolls that just have, you know, let's pretend there's paid trolls. I know everyone will be in chat going, yeah, there's paid trolls. You're just dumb if you don't know. Okay, I don't have proof, okay? But I'm going to pretend that there are paid trolls. Imagine if you had a schedule. Today you're going to control the candle, you're going to troll the candle community. Tomorrow you're going to be trolling the beauty community. The following day you're going to be controlling the automobile review community. And then the day after that it's going to be the Flat Earth community. And then the vegan community. Imagine these are the same people with different names in a cubicle, have a schedule of where they're trolling. That would be pretty funny. Yeah. And lucrative.
Yes, it would. Absolutely would. By the way, I got to mention real quick, because I was looking at your thumbnail, because I'm typing Flat Earth and setting the filter to this week, because, you know, what happened between last week and this week. And I still love that thumbnail you're using, because it is the future. And I think that thumbnail may have been made even before the Jetsons show was even out.
It kind of looks 1950s.
It does look 1950s. The question is why, what happened to that future? And I know why. You know, there was a reason.
It's also 2 women that are in, for those who don't know, it's a black and white thumbnail of 2 women. One looks younger in a drawing in a space.
Flying. Yeah. Like a flying Jetsons car.
Right. And
modified UFO with the steering wheel.
Women in it too. That's pretty interesting.
Well, the mother, the daughter, the dog, and the groceries.
Right. So they just came back from the store with the dog. That's weird. But okay.
The bigger picture, you see the husband and the son down in a 50s style Rambler below as they're kind of pulling into the driveway. But since it's got to be a rectangle for YouTube, I couldn't get it all
Okay, got it. I was wondering why it was just the women in there, but thank you for making it for me, by the way. Oh, it's so nice.
I know. But anyway, that future, it never happened. That particular future, and it couldn't. With our civilization, it could never happen because the first, as you know, once you get the flying cars with some sort of unified field engine, you were going to figure out what this world was. The average person was going to figure out what this world was, and that was never going to be allowed to happen. That is why our future was stunted. Yeah, we have smartphones, and we have 4K televisions and some cool stuff on the ground, but all the big tech cars have not changed in a long time.
Very true.
We don't have ray guns, also, for obvious reasons. The Tesla ray guns, everyone should have ray guns by now, but no, because the wrong person with a ray gun can cause a lot of damage. We've got strict laws on that. So anyway, that's what for me, that flying car, that was it's a great little symbol of, look, that thing was, and you can see, if you look really close, if you blow up the picture, you can see the newspaper ads on the other side of it. You can see through the newspaper. And I was like, look, this was the visions we had 60 years ago, and we aren't even close to what that is portraying. So what's that tell you? It means that somebody was not trying very hard.
Exactly.
To get to that future.
I do want to shout out Corey Amundsen, who makes the Flat Earth coffee tables. He messaged me and asked me if I need a new coffee table to go with my new house, and I told him that I love his coffee tables, but my house is fully maxed out on furniture. But I do want to give him a shout out. And for those who would like a Flat Earth coffee table, I hear that you're getting one. And I know Bob from Globebusters is getting one.
I'm going to get one really, really soon. In fact, it's in transit, and I will definitely show that thing off. I'll take a whole bunch of pictures and some movies of it.
So Corey's name is KORYAMUNDSON. And
or you could just type into YouTube Flat Earth Coffee Table, and you'll see the videos, and all his contact info will be there.
Just wanted
including cool little pictures. So, and
let's talk about Subaru. Speaking of cars.
Oh, right.
I want to show this.
Yeah, show it.
I found this on eBay. It's a sticker, and it's part of a campaign that Subaru has been doing called "The World Is Flat." Like they literally have like a campaign.
Months, at least.
And here it is. This is just. You could buy this on eBay. There we go.
Subaru. It has to do with their Boxster. Move it to. Well, no, you're fine. It has to do with their Boxster engine, or Boxster engine, Boxster engine, where it's a flat layout.
Right, but just that in general, that particular sticker, regardless, why would it have to say the world is flat? Why?
Yeah,
why?
That's great. I mean, well, they're saying like the future is our engine technology, and I get that. Someone should contact Subaru because they've got a listener pointed this out to me. And when you go into a search engine and you type in the Flat Earth or the world is flat Subaru, you'll get a whole bunch of stuff. They've got merch that's been out there for a while now. That someone should, in fact, Robbie D. Davidson should contact them and see if they're willing to come down to the conference. And
that would be interesting.
Because they're not necessarily saying you're supporting it, but look, they've already got the merchandise. All you have to do is send two guys and a truckload of shirts and stuff. And
they could have a car outside on display with like a tent and stuff and hand out.
Oh, it'd be awesome. I think
it would be really good PR, and it would be sort of a humorous thing. That wouldn't mean they would have to believe in flat Earth.
They wouldn't have to believe it. Their reps could come down. They wouldn't have to be hardcore. But look, I mean, the point is they've already got all this stuff set up in their infrastructure. It's already, and it's not new. It's been there for a little while. So good for them. Awesome.
In our chat is a guy named James Hicksposen. And he wrote a comment on a video of mine, and I'm going to read it. This is another video, it's not from live chat. He writes, "Hi, Patricia. Thanks for reading this. I have a question. It may cause some discussion. At least I hope I can get an answer or hear the answer soon. My question is as follows. Should we be using physics or quantum physics in describing the flat Earth? I know it's what we all learn about in schools and textbooks, but if this is a creation, which it seems to be, would not that make them both false and not worth looking into? I know we use physics to describe our surroundings all the time, but I can't see the creator using physics to make this place. What are your thoughts on this and Mark's thoughts on this? Thank you for your time. You can use my name if you want on the show. It seems Genesis in the Bible is real. Keep up the great work you do, from a fellow flat earther from Ontario, Canada." So physics or quantum physics? I'll be honest right here. I don't know anything about either of them, and it's not my strong suit.
If we're talking, I kind of ride the fence on this because, as you know, when it comes to this place, it's either one of two things. And I've said this since literally week one, which is either it's divinely created or God subcontracted the work out. But either way, whatever was used to build this place is far, far more advanced than us. And is it one step closer to knowing God? Yeah, at the very least. I mean, that's one of the first questions. That's the best part about this, is there so many cool ways this could come to a conclusion. Even if it went the ridiculous path and a giant golden egg-shaped spacecraft landed somewhere.
Egg-shaped? That would be with Lady Gaga getting out. Ugh.
There you go. If Lady Gaga actually came out of the spaceship, what is one of the first things we'd ask her? And that is, hey, are you God? No. Hey, do you have God's phone number? That's one of the first things we'd ask whoever it was, because we'd say, okay, well, you're obviously more, I won't say evolved, but higher up on the food chain than we are. So what do you know about existence? What do you know about, the afterlife? And so, look, I think all religions have a piece of the same puzzle. I do. And it's all it's a fantastic riddle / puzzle / mystery. And don't try to live one world at a time. Don't try to think too far outside the dome, as it were, instead of outside the box. Because if you do, you're gonna get into places that it's gonna diminish your experience here. Sort of like, let me use the line from that movie, and I think we talked about it last time, the Discovery with Robert Redford.
Did we talk about that?
Did we? Maybe we didn't.
Maybe, I don't remember.
On Netflix.
You know me, I'm not the best with remembering quotes.
That's okay. Fantastic movie, real think piece. Robert Redford directed and starred, along with Jason Segel, the girl from the Dragon Tattoo.
No, you and I talked about this privately on Skype.
Yes, where the concept was, what happens after we die? It's the only thing bigger than flat Earth. Is the concept is what happens after the afterlife is the only concept I can think of right now that's bigger than this. And you could say, well, no, the God and building of this. It's like, yeah, but it's all tied.
Yeah, but that's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all tied to it. And the discovery, and I won't give too many spoilers, because in the first 5 minutes you figure out a big chunk of it, which is he discovered through quantum mechanics, that's why I'm bringing it up, that there was a signature that when somebody died, an electronic signature left the body and went somewhere. So like took off, went somewhere, and he tracked the motion of that as far as he could anyway. And because of that, a lot of people latched onto it and said, well, it was going to the afterlife. And because of that, there was this huge, a lot of people died, self-inflicted suicide stuff. And the reporters were asking him, are you going to take responsibility for this? Blah, blah, blah. And what I'm getting at is that don't think too far down those lines yet. We've still got, we've got to get through. Remember, the great majority of the people that are out there, and yeah, we've got a huge amount of closet flat earthers, but the great majority, and I don't know what the exact numbers, maybe 90%, maybe less, still are holding on to the globe. Though that thing has got to be saturated first, or at least there's got to be a tipping point. Until then, that's what I'm doing, spreading the word every day. That's my main goal. The
movie, for those who are interested, and I definitely want to see it, is called The Discovery. Yep. And it's on Netflix right now. And it is directed by Charlie McDowell. He also co-wrote it with a guy named Justin Latter. And there's Rooney Mara in it. That's the girl from the Dragon Tattoo.
Redford didn't have a co.
Jesse Plemons, Riley Keough, and Ron Canada. I don't know any of them.
What's Redford's role in it? Did it say anything else?
He premiered it at his Sundance Film Festival. So maybe that's he's in it. He stars as the doctor in it. And
he can't be just the star, though. If he premiered, he's got to be like an executive producer at the least.
Well, the Sundance Film Festival is Robert Redford.
Well, that's just his, yeah. So
maybe that's it. But anyway, it sounds like an interesting movie.
It's a fascinating movie.
Because really, death in general. Now, we all say flat Earth is the mother of all conspiracies, and it's the linchpin for all of these things. But then there's that aspect of what happens when we die.
Yeah.
and the varying religious beliefs about that. And even if you don't have a religion or you didn't even grow up with one, or we all wonder what happens when you die. A lot of us have faith and they know, or we know, and others, or that's the one thing. That's the one thing that this movie.
If you believe in rules, and I talked about this years ago with my friends, which was because people say, well, why don't we get to find out? I was going, look, it's the ultimate cheat. You can't find out. I joked about it, which is why this movie really resonated with me. I said, look, if you had a 30-second video clip of what happens after you die, and that got out, and that whatever was on that clip was better than 90% of the people's lives that are living right now, and they knew they could go there, they would go there. They would do whatever it took to get there. And a lot of people, people would be throwing themselves off bridges like lemmings. And so, which is why you don't get to find out. It is the unbreakable rule. You cannot know in advance what it is, despite what people have near death experiences. That's the whole point. It's near death. It's not actual death.
There's all of these books that capture that, that curiosity that we have. What happens? Oh, by the way, cat sighting on the jukebox.
Cat sighting.
Rory. There's the book called Heaven is for Real, about a young boy and, that kind of thing. There's also The Boy Who Came Back from Heaven. That guy who supposedly said that a guy came back, a boy said it was his real story, but he recanted the story. So he says he didn't go to heaven. And
anyway,
that's from The Boy Who Came Back, not the one called Heaven is for Real. But so The Boy Who Came Back, that particular person recanted their story. But then again, when people recant their stories, why? Was there pressure? Were they forced to? Were they told that they had to? Or did they really, really, really lie or were forced to lie and then take it back? We don't know.
Tough to say, because it's the question that everybody wants to know.
Right.
So if there's an opportunity there, a lot of people will jump on it if they can.
All right. So let's just play a little game here. Let's say that the afterlife can be determined to be real, like in the movie that we're talking about called The Discovery. Yep. We find out, we actually see video clip of what it looks like, and we know that it's good. Would you kill yourself to be there now? Or would you wait until your natural demise?
Well, that's just it. That's an interesting, it's an interesting question.
If there was no repercussions.
Well, yeah, excellent point. Which is, if you could, if you knew that the person that died, if you got the video clip from a person that died who was a horrible person and he still went there, right? Then we'll take that out of the way. So that way you can leave all the religious prefaces off to the side for a second. It really comes down to the person, because remember what I said, it depends on your quality of life. There's a problem. I'm going to use a game reference here, because there's a reason. There was a game that was made some years ago called StarCraft, and there was an online series you could play online against other people. It was a strategy-based game. But here's the problem. The problem is you could leave at any time. And so what would happen is, even though you'd be halfway into the game, people had different perceptions of if the game was lost or not. If they thought that the tide was turning against them even a little bit, they'd bail and just jump ship all the time. That's the same thing would happen here. Meaning, if some people would be like, no, I'm going to hold on to the bitter end, because I want to see what this life has. Other people like, you know what? I didn't order this type of coffee, and then jump off a bridge. You would get those type of people, and all versions in between, and civilization, would just collapse almost immediately.
For me, I'd stay. I'm staying here. I'm staying here to see what life has to offer and what I can do. However, if something really horrible happened to me physically, or I'll say mentally, because if you say mentally, that means you'd have to be in a mental state enough to make a decision for yourself. But I was in a situation where it was a horrible, horrible life that I physically, horrible pain. Then if there was that guarantee that, I might do it. But then the thought of killing yourself, my gosh, there would be whole cottage industries of people helping people kill themselves. I'm not talking Kevorkian. I'm talking about...
The movie touches on that as well, which is again, what you said there, yeah, the noble intentions, I'm sure a lot of people would say that, but that's just it. If you know the insurance policy is there, a lot of people would be like, yeah, you know, they're gonna cut their expectations. They're gonna pull it way back. They say, oh yeah, I'm gonna hold out till here. And then it's like, I know I said I was going to hold out till there.
I bet it would cut down on murders, though, if all of this were real. Because why would somebody murder somebody in anger? Because eventually you're just sending them to a better place.
Yeah. Well, and
I'm not going to murder you. I hate you that much.
Again, that was also touched on in the movie.
Really?
As well, which is, you know, what happens with murder, and is murder even murder anymore?
Right.
Anyway, let's move
the
on.
Discovery on Netflix.
Discovery. Check it out if you get a chance. It's totally worth it. I'm not going to give you I'll tell. Well, maybe I'll tell. No, I won't tell you the spoiler at the end, which is the only time I ever think science got it right in a movie.
So you think that this movie's good, and even all the way to the end, you didn't say, "Oh my God, a bad ending."
I do because of the position that science took when they finally got to what they wanted to find out. What the position they took was, and it's a cool little Twilight Zone-y type of thing. But again, it's something we've been looking for actively. You know, there are research people that are working on this right now. I guarantee it. Forever.
If we believe our history, the Egyptians were working on what happens after death, and you know, sending people down the Nile and everything. Look at
the movie. Not to go off on too much. The movie 21 Grams with Sean Penn.
That's a good movie.
Where the concept is that, and I believe the Germans were the ones that figured it out first. Well, Germans, where they when a body dies, it becomes 21 grams lighter immediately. And it's like, okay, what happened? What exactly was that? The weight of the electromagnetic, whatever it is in you, is what left that had that sort of weight to it? And was it the soul? And it's an interesting little take on that.
So, I want to say hello to Sue H and Flat Revolution, Swamp Lover, Nicole Cote, hey, Jibby Jedi, Victoria Sargent, Terry Elrod, Markovsky, who I mentioned before, Okdina Walker, maybe mentioned before, Flat Earth Vegan Amy, hello. Darren Nicholson says, happy birth anniversary, Mark.
Birth anniversary.
But which was last Monday, though. But Bill Binns, Darren Nicholson, Andres, VZ, we've got Rebel, Christopher, and a bunch of other cool people in here. There's a fake Mark Sargent in here as well.
Nice. Well, he probably is Mark Sargent.
Funny. This is funny. This troll person, whoever it is, probably you know who, Tim Osman, says, hello, fake Mark Sargent here. Just wanted to say happy birthday, Mark, before Bob blocks me.
That's funny.
Troll identifying themselves as fake Mark Sargent.
Nice. It's good. Nicole Cote, by the way, was the one that made my banner, my CGI banner behind me, which is actually real. You can see me hitting it.
And just hey to everybody in here. A lot of cool people in here. And I love just seeing everybody. I want to be able to do the show and also be in chat at the same time, but I can't. So
I want to do a quick shout out to ODD for making that great little video, the open letter to Cody's Lab.
Yeah.
Which I thought was awesome. Cody's Lab, again, we're getting so used to it. Cody's Lab has a mere 1 million subscribers. He did a video going after Flat Earth, trying to say that he could prove the curvature with a telescope, and basically did a combination of like Jaron and Rob Skiba's experiment right there. The distortion in the distance. The only thing he didn't have was birds flying into the nothingness of the distortion horizon, which was awesome. And ODD addressed it perfectly. And you know, you want to, that's actually a good video to show people, because then you have both sides. You have the skeptic that, you know, spent some time, and
have you put that into your Flat Earth playlist for videos for new people? It would be a good one.
Not yet, but I probably will.
Yeah.
It takes me a while before I got to hum and haw about it. And then finally it's like, all right, fine, I'll do it.
You know what I share a lot is Flat Earth in 5 minutes by ODD, because it's 5 minutes. There's a lot of people who are like, I don't believe any of this. Show me something. And you send them that and you tell them it only will take you 5 minutes. That way they're very more interested. You can't, there's a lot of great videos that are like an hour long or 20 minutes long or 2 hours long, but people don't have the patience. They want to be hit over the head with it. That's why the flat earth clues, the way you put them out bit by bit, worked on me. I watched one and and became one of us. Yeah, because they were quick, they were short, and I do not have a short attention span at all. I would have watched Flat Earth Clues if it were into an entire like movie length, all of them in one, of course.
Right.
But it worked because it was at that time, it was easy to digest. You watch a little and you think about it, and then later you watch the next one. And I came into Flat Earth in March of 2015. It's when you were still putting them out. And I remember waiting for another clue, like excited, like when's another one coming out? Checking. So.
Yeah. And then people telling me that, I've listened to it like 7 or 8 times and I do it. I like put it in my ears before I go to sleep. And I know because my voice, if you're listening on headphones, I can sort of hypnotize you and lull you into sleep.
We should do ASMR videos, Mark. I'm checking my phone now.
I actually did that full blown. You probably never even heard any of those.
We could do whispering. The earth is flat.
Oh, right. Whispering's actually a thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. ASMR. Flat Earth.
I actually listened to that because some people said that I was doing ASMR. And so I actually listened to other people doing ASMR. I was going, yeah, I can see it.
Well,
sort of.
If you have a soothing voice, yes. But the whispering and the like clicking your nails on things, that's the thing. And I don't get the ASMR tingles some people get. It doesn't affect me.
Oh, I do. But it's not often.
Is it sexual? What is it?
No, it's not even a sexual thing. I've gotten it with it's the delivery of a certain topic. I'll give you 2 quick examples, and totally not gay when I'm saying this. One would be Bob Ross on a good day when he's in a groove and he's painting his stuff. It's a hypnotic thing. You're watching this and going, holy smokes, I am totally engrossed in whatever, he's just, I'm not even sure if I'm hearing the words. I'm hearing the concepts as much as I'm hearing his delivery. The other one, which I remember very vividly, was Al Pacino in Glengarry Glen Ross, when he was doing his famous soft touch sales pitch to the guy at the bar after he had like 3 or 4 drinks, and he goes into kind of life. He gives this kind of speech. Al Pacino does great monologues anyway, but this great pitch on life, and then he leads into, let me sell you this timeshare type thing. But the way he laid it out was so smooth. The transition was so smooth. The guy didn't have a chance. Did not have a chance. It was brilliant. So it's delivery.
Or you could just go watch an LSC video for ASMR.
I mean, yeah, he's got his moments, but it's mixed in with that whole, that thing he does where he mixes it in with a religious cult leader.
Right, exactly. It's no big deal.
You can't do ASMR and religious cult leader, and you also can't do concave and religious cult leader. You can't mix those things.
You know what? I've seen ASMR everything, so you probably can. I've seen people doing unboxings of high-end designer watches and ASMR at the same time. So.
Hey, by the way, the video also that I shared recently, which you probably remember, was GeoShifter's thing.
GeoShifter came back with a great video.
Holy smokes! You guys got to watch this. The 1983 space shuttle mission VHS. I don't know who released it exactly, but it is brilliant because it shows. Now, there's some people who say, no, it's reflection in the glass. Or you're looking at the back payload bay, open doors of the space shuttle, supposedly in orbit, and you see behind the freaking shuttle a giant face moving around, and you can tell it's like, holy smokes, the space shuttle is only like it's a 2-foot model, and there's a guy back there, whoever, maybe he's operating a little spinning satellite. You don't know what's happening. But I mean, at one point it was scoring it was like 200 to nothing, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Right.
So it was resonating, but, and people go, no, it's a reflection. Okay. One, if you're going to try to convince me that the back of the space shuttle, the cockpit of the space shuttle is like the back of a truck, and you can just turn around and look out the back, and you're actually pointing the camera out the window of said truck, and then you're catching the reflection. No, I think it would have looked different. But that wasn't the only thing wrong with that video.
Oh, there was the Earth. The Earth was dark, and then all of a sudden it all became light, and GeoShifter said, oh, they forgot to turn on the Earth.
Oh, yeah. Well, not just that. No, the thing that caught my eye right away was the arms. You had bare arms from the elbow down running the control panel. Astronauts sitting there at the control panel with bare arms, all the, not suit all the way to hand, and no gloves. I mean, bare arms. Like, there was no suit to be, it was like the sportsman's version of the suit.
It was like they were in a high altitude plane, really, or even just a medium altitude plane.
And it was the first time I had seen this. If you guys remember the famous Challenger photo where the 7 astronauts are sitting there and they're holding those stupid white helmets, and they're really dorky looking white helmets. They're motorcycle helmets, basically. And I thought, oh, okay, they're prop helmets because they didn't want them to sit there just holding nothing, right? No. You look at that video, they're wearing those helmets in that video.
Now, are those the helmets that can rotate, or are those?
No. They're just cheesy, stupid motorcycle helmets. They're not those, not the 1960s ones that supposedly could. No, they couldn't rotate. But the fact that they were using those helmets, which were much smaller, less bulky, and I thought they were prop helmets the entire time. And turns out they were not only were they using those for the photo shoots, they were using those for the photo missions. The fake missions. But when you watch the whole thing, it's just ridiculous. I don't know who released the one that we just saw, though. It was brilliant.
Yeah. So it's on your channel, mirrored, but it's actually originally GeoShifter's.
Yeah, GeoShifter.
Give it a watch. Give it a like. This email came to me, and the subject is Skylab Space Station, 1973. Hi, Patricia and Mark. I have a big question mark surrounding Skylab that supposedly crashed on the 12th of July, 1979. I remember the radio station that my father owned at the time did a radio station PR event, which was basically an event in a park, and you could go and have fun, and they had food and played music, but they called it the Skylab Catching Party. Come to this event and catch a piece of Skylab.
I know you're not old enough to remember, but I was old enough to remember when that thing came down, because they were offering big time rewards for anybody that found a piece and turned it in.
So what did they do? Have a plane fly over and drop some pieces? They couldn't even do that for insurance reasons, right?
Well, no.
So no one ever found any, or
that's just it. You don't know at that point if the stories were real, which stories were real. You don't know.
Right.
It was very interesting, though.
Back in 1979, July 12th. Anyway, the email goes on. It was big news in Australia at the time. It supposedly landed somewhere in Western Australia.
I think that was where
a massive land area.
Yeah, but because it was an American program, they were offering money, and of course you'd want to. But yeah, where were the pieces coming from? Did you do the same thing like you did with the capsules and just drop them out of a C-130 or a C-140 at altitude?
The email goes on to say, I remember there were lots of metal pieces that were scattered over a large area. It was all eyewitness accounts, which were front page news. Yeah. I was wondering how this stacked up under a new understanding of the real world and flat Earth. So I just looked it up now to see what was still available, and I found a documentary. I would send you the link, but you'll have to look it up. The details below. It's called Skylab WDTV Live 42, and it's supposed to be a documentary filmed in space. Skylab WDTV Live 42. It goes on for 30 minutes, and there was a number of things that don't quite work for the person who wrote me this email. And he goes on to say, but I'm sure you have lots of clever people who could look at it with a better understanding and knowledge base and pick holes everywhere. He says this was supposed to be a massive structure that somehow orbited our flat Earth for over 6 years before crashing. 11,290 square feet of living space. I wish my house had that much.
Whoa. No, that can't be right. No. He means like 1,100. It couldn't be 11,000.
Yeah, 11,000.
11,000 is too big. That's bigger than two mansions. 1,100. 1,100 would be the size of a small apartment. Well, average size apartment.
He said this footage was released in 2012, and going by posted commentary, a lot of people believe that it's still real. This is from Shane O'Malley in McLaren Vale, South Australia. So I'm going to look up now how big Skylab was. So, I mean, what do you think? The pieces were put down in the ground, under cover of dark, and then the next day, oh wait, they found pieces in Australia, and eyewitnesses were out finding them.
Easy. Easy to do. Why not? Australia, you can do it that way. You don't do it in the States. Nobody, a lot of pictures. Australia in the 1970s, still pretty sparse. Oh, I mean, sparse even now, but it was really sparse back then. So yeah, why not?
I was looking up how big. Funny, I'm listening to you talk at the same time I'm typing into my phone, and I wanted to write how big is Skylab, but I ended up typing in how big is Australia. Okay.
Nice.
No,
Australia's pretty big.
Yeah. How?
And again, Australia, part of, let me segue into a reminder for anyone that wants to have some fun. Look up not the blue marble shots of Earth, but look up the black marble shots of Earth, and you'll see some very interesting stuff. And I'm sure you'll find the odd images where Australia, the western half of Australia, in the center western half, is lit up like a Christmas tree, even though nobody lives there. They drew in the population centers because whoever's doing the Photoshop work on the black marble shots didn't know their geography, didn't know their population centers, and got lazy. And kind of like the cloning tool on the blue marble shot for the phone, they decided, oh, let's put in some population. And then when people called them out, it's like, what cities are there? It's a national park. There's nobody living there, dude.
Lots of campfires. The bears were, toasting marshmallows. Okay, so Skylab was 35 meters, 117 feet long. And it was supposedly one of the heaviest single pieces of, the big vault was one of the heaviest single pieces of Skylab to re-enter Earth's atmosphere. So part of it came down, the big vault, in one piece. It doesn't even make sense.
Whatever.
I mean, come on.
Whatever. Again, it's good to look into, though. I mean, everyone, if you got time, I shouldn't say everyone, people that have the access, do what GeoShifter did, and that is go through some of the old stuff if you can. Find, the stuff pre-90. That could be a potential gold mine. And look what he found in just a short amount of time. Found a special effects guy. And remember, in 1983, the special effects, we didn't have green screen back then. We barely had blue screen. Star Wars was one of the few companies that was, the few production houses that was even using blue screen back in '83. That's when Return of the Jedi came out.
I want to say hello to Jesse Villanova, who writes, "Hello, Patricia. My name's Jesse, and I just discovered you when you did a video with Russian Vids. I interviewed Russian Vids. It's on my channel. Also, DITRH and I interviewed Russian Vids. It's also on my channel, but it was a while ago, and it's under a playlist called Truth is Stranger Than Lies. But Jesse's talking about the recent interview, and Russian Vids then put it on his channel. That's where Jesse discovered it. He said, great programming. My awakening happened in April 2016. And he asks me, do you sun gaze? I believe in this, and there is so much proof of the benefits and awakening the third eye, the pineal gland. And then he writes, I'm 52 and went through all the MTV programming as well. And that is one of the things that I had discussed with Russian Vids. And you and I have discussed it too, because we're generally around the same age, although I'm older, that MTV, I mean, that's one of the things that all the music, all the imagery, they use space imagery. On MTV. I mean,
MTV's big. You remember the first intro was the Apollo launch, and then the second intro, which was interesting.
Why did they use that? Think about it.
Because it was the most high-tech thing they could think of at the time.
But it had nothing really to do with that music at all.
No, it didn't. But if you're gonna go for that global feel, that's what you do. What's interesting was they cut that out once 1986 rolled around, because initially for 2 years, I think, they changed it over to the space shuttle launch, but then the Challenger blew up, and then MTV, to try to be less abrasive, they just pulled it, and then they never ran space stuff again.
Have you ever done sun gazing? I know where you live, outside of Seattle on Whidbey Island, there's not a lot of sun. I have done a little bit being in Houston, Texas, but I haven't done it with regularity. I would like to. I have done it from time to time, and I've done grounding from time to time and sun gazing at the same time. But it's something I've more toyed with as opposed to make a full program of it. It would be a good thing to do, but you have to be completely free and able to go out at certain times of the day and build your tolerance, staring at the sun and, working your way up.
I could do cloud gazing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's supposedly a great way to heal your body. And it is something that they've told us not to do. Do not stare at the sun. Wonder why, huh? They tell us all these things not to do, but it turns out most of them are very beneficial.
Sure.
So
sure.
Find out what they don't want you to do and do it. Find out what they don't want you to look at and look at it.
Nice. The another video that caught my eye this week, obviously, and you saw this one, was, and tell me, am I pronouncing this right? This is that Japanese, I'm sorry, Asian influenced channel, Niga Higa. Is it pronounced Niga Higa?
Yeah, it is, I think. I don't know.
It's pretty catchy. It sounds relatively racist, but you know what? They're getting away with it. So, and it's got Amir. In fact, did they break it yet? Hang on.
Nope. I went. They have 2 videos, I believe. I commented on both of them.
Yeah. One was called "Proving the Earth is Flat," and it's a parody video. But the reason why it's funny and it does not really slam us. In fact, the first 5 minutes are fairly complimentary.
They are, and it gives a whole view of what Flat Earth is all about, which isn't what Flat Earth is all about. But it's actually very creative and funny, and you're kind of thinking, really, maybe
these guys do a nice job. Smart. They've got 19 million subscribers. That's huge. And it was cool. I mean, look at the people. In fact, it's only been up for less than 5 days and it's got 4.5 million hits. That's fantastic. I mean, the exposure there was bigger than so many other channels combined, which was awesome. So, and they had a secondary channel with their outtakes, which was also great and cool. I couldn't have been happier.
Whenever I see a video like that is a channel that's got a lot of subscribers and they're not Flat Earth at all, but they are exposing their audience to Flat Earth, I go in and make a comment and I mention a video like, haha, this is funny or this is interesting. However, if you really want to know more about the subject, go to this video. And I don't put the video link in there because a lot of people who own channels have their comments set to put anything that's got a link into spam. So your comment will maybe never make it into the comment section. You might think it is because you're signed in when you make the comment, but if you signed out, it might not be there. And then the YouTube content provider will or will not ever even see it and or enable that comment. So I just put the name of the video very clearly written out. Go see, for example, what I put was ODD's Flat Earth in 5 minutes if you want to learn more about the subject.
Sure.
And, maybe 1 or 2 people did or not. It took me only seconds. And to me, that's just a great way to spread a little truth, or at least try to, drop a seed.
Yep.
So let's see. Want to say hello to Pale Queens, Mr. Poncho Pete, Ginger Sugarbush, Mark Twain, Test Vision, Felix I Am, Mr. Robots, Stranger XX, Stephen Chess, Frying Squirrel. It's actually funny. Billy, but not really, because squirrels, no, do not fry them.
Or it could be an Asian reference.
I know, probably.
Frying.
No, don't do any fake Asian accents because it'll come back to haunt you.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, something I'm wearing right now underneath this jacket, before we started the show, Mark was saying, it kind of looks like you're wearing a slip. And I'm like, you know what? It's not. It's a velvet top. And he said, well, people will think you're wearing a slip. And so therefore my jacket is now buttoned up. So if you wear something that looks like it's something else, you'll catch heck for it. And if you do a fake Asian accent,
heck for it?
Heck for it.
Heck for it? Seriously? Did we turn into a G-rated channel?
I don't know.
That's awesome. And in all honesty, it's slip colored.
It is.
It has that blonde, shiny satin look to it.
Yeah.
Look, it looks like a high-end slip. I mean, I will give you that. It's not a cheap piece of crap.
This is true. It is not. King James is here, and Mandy Barr is here, who says hello. Chuck the Canuck is here, and Andres as well. Alan Schmidt, Alejandro Rubio. I'm not saying that name. I may have mentioned Plain Truth and may have not.
Telemundo.
Pretty good. I don't know. Irk Childs. Irk says, F what people think, Patricia. And he spelled F-E-F-F. And it's true. I'm taking it off and showing it. No, I'm not.
You can, but people are like, oh,
well, it's not showing anything. It's just whatever. Persian Scribe says G-rated might mean globe-rated, so maybe we got to chuck that out of our vocabulary. Think of all the things that we can't say anymore. Little phrases, little things.
Oh, I catch myself all the time.
Yeah.
Avoiding the word globe, avoiding the word around the world, term around the world, stuff like that. Yeah.
Or even if you say within my sphere of influence, you're like, wait.
I never use that term, so I'm okay on that one.
Bob of Glowbuster says this channel is so G it could be a Disney production. True, but we're not
satanic. Yes, true.
Like
but that's
Disney.
that's okay. I mean, you gotta remember, somebody's got to be. I mean, that doesn't mean you have to be.
Right.
Other people, and we know other channels. They just go off the freaking rails. Just start, having.
I keep it clean because that's my personality in general.
Well, yeah, and look, I mean, you're gonna reach a broader audience.
That's the way. That's why I do it. Now, in general, I don't swear in person a lot, but I may say one word occasionally. But it's more of a joke when I would say it.
It comes down for me to the group. I'm adaptable.
Yeah, me too. But I'm generally not. If I got Alzheimer's and I would just say things with no filter, swearing wouldn't be what I would do. I would be really bad at Tourette's.
You
really
just said that like 5 minutes ago, right?
Huh? Good one.
Sorry.
Let's see. That was a good one.
At least I don't have Alzheimer's. At least I don't have Alzheimer's.
Let's see what's going on. What else is going on?
That's terrible. There are people going, "Oh, my grandmother has Alzheimer's. You're a horrible person."
You know what? Anything you say can offend somebody.
I know. I offend people just for being here.
Yeah, you're right. I'm offended. I'm deeply offended.
Somehow I doubt that. I also want to mention Joe Rogan has been on a freaking tear lately.
Yeah.
And he's smart. He knows. He knows full well. He attacks Eddie Bravo and then posts like 3 different versions, a short, medium, and long of the video. In fact, I'm looking at the one from the Joe Rogan fan page. Joe Rogan versus Eddie Bravo. Heated argument over flat earth theory. It's got 600,000 hits in a week. And then 5 hours ago from Joe Rogan University fan channel, he's got a massive YouTube presence. Joe Rogan.
People like him so much. Is he that endearing of a personality?
No.
I don't really think so.
No. But okay.
Think of all the people that are super popular. What's the one? The YouTube content provider guy. His name starts with the letter P.
Not PewDiePie.
Okay, PewDiePie. That's why is PewDiePie popular? I know.
No, he's got a marketing. He's got a marketing machine behind him.
But he's not that entertaining.
No, he's not. He's not. I mean, I consider Higa way better than PewDiePie. No,
we're
PewDiePie,
way better than PewDiePie. Every flat Earth channel is way better than PewDiePie.
PewDiePie is living proof that if you hype something up enough, the masses will embrace it. A certain click. If you just keep saying, this is great, check this out. He developed a following because
that's with everything. You always wonder how certain things became popular or certain things became fashionable or certain things became well-loved when they're utter junk.
Yeah. But it's
TV shows. There's lots of TV shows that you're like, why do people like this? It's stupid.
You don't know. In fact, it's a producer's riddle that's in Hollywood. It's been there for years. The Simpsons did an episode on it forever ago where Bart became a show sensation with the whole "I didn't do it" thing. And Krusty the Clown bought all his rights and they owned him. But the point is you never know. In fact, everyone thought he was done, and then all of a sudden the ratings came in. It was through the roof. Every producer was wrong. You don't know what the public's going to go for. When it comes to Joe Rogan, it's pretty easy with Joe. He's a guy. He's a man's man type of guy,
and he's made himself a name already. He's a name brand. So
yeah, and he's been around for a while. He did comedy. He did early television. Well, I should say 90s television. He's done all sorts of. And he's been around, and he really maximized his internet presence. Really maximized.
The whole, the moon landings were fake. The moon landings were real. It was maybe just, we all think, oh, well, it was the money or the gun or, something like that. Maybe he just decided this would be a really good career move.
No, they got to him. They got to him.
If they got to him, is he allowed to continue actually talking about flat Earth by putting flat Earth down? He's still getting the word out.
Because technically, if you believe in the contract, whether it's verbal or it's actually a written contract, he's not promoting it. He's attacking.
I know what this is like. This is like when I was a little girl and my mom took me to the grocery store. A&P grocery stores are no longer open, but in Kalamazoo, Michigan, they existed. And really, there's a point to this story, believe it or not. She took me to the grocery store, and I'm going to guess my age was 4. I vaguely remember 4 or 5. Okay. It was a very small mom and pop store, and she was checking out, and I wandered away, and she said, "I've got my eye on you, Patty. Don't touch anything with your hands." She found me near the marshmallows, which were laid out on a low counter, with my hands clasped behind my back, tearing through the plastic with my teeth. I didn't touch anything with my hands, so it was totally fine. I didn't break the rules.
Yeah.
So it's like Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Wow.
I told you.
Wow. That is
Talking about flat Earth by.
That's good. And technically you didn't break the rules.
Yep.
Yeah. He's not breaking the rules. He is attacking flat Earth, but he's attacking it so much and he's got such a big subscriber base that he's drawing inadvertent. Now he either knows or he doesn't know, but the amount, I mean, he's brought up on somebody. In fact, who did he bring it up with 5 hours ago? Who's Abby Martin? I don't know, but Abby Martin, he talked to Abby Martin on moon conspiracy with a side of flat Earth. Like this is the menu today, and the fact that he's even allowed to talk about the moon conspiracy on his own is interesting. I think they're, again, well, you know me, I think they want this thing out, and he would be a perfect vessel to let it happen, because you can test the social media through him. You can test.
Abby Martin. Abigail Suzanne Martin is an American journalist and presenter of the Empire Files, a weekly investigative news program on Telesur English and YouTube. Now, if it's the correct person, it's a very attractive woman. Is that who it is?
I must be. I'm not going to click on it necessarily, but
yep, that's her. I see it. Joe Rogan and Abby Martin on Pizzagate, Alex Jones, and Trump protesters. So I don't know anything about her.
Well, see, I'd love to see what he actually is saying about Alex Jones now that Alex is officially said, "Oh yeah, by the way, I was acting for the last 20 years."
If he still wants to continue to be an Alex Jones fan, he'll say what all Alex Jones fans will say.
No, I'm sure he will still be an Alex. He has to.
He'll just explain it away with, he had to do that to keep his kids, or it doesn't really mean what you think it means, or, people will go into cognitive dissonance, and that's what they do.
Right. Right. I could see that.
We know that. Let's see. I have an email here from Brad Lausier. I never know how to pronounce Brad's last name. Lausier. Sounds French.
Sounds French.
He writes, "Hello, Patricia. I was researching Japan's space agency, JAXA. JAXA has been plagued with recent failures. For example, the Hitomi black hole satellite failed after just 1 month in 2016. The mini rocket launched in 2017. January was a failure. And the space junk collector failed in February 2017. He writes, their failure rate is similar to that of SpaceX. Yet, JAXA launched the Lunar Orbiter in 2007, and it deployed 2 sub-satellites in lunar orbit, and all 3 satellites were flawless and lasted for well over a year. It took all of those Earthrise pictures from lunar orbit."
Yeah, but the Earthrise pictures stopped short when they started zooming in. The Earthrise pictures were a bunch of crap. It's when you look at them, even in time lapse, it didn't show any rotation that I could notice. And you'd think, again, that was their HD cameras that JAXA sent around the moon in 2007. There's your chance. Leave the cameras running, head them back to Earth. There's your perfect chance. Nothing.
He has a good point. They can orbit the moon for 20 months and they have no problem, but they can't clean up some space junk from low Earth orbit.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem right. Of course, obviously, we know it's all fake, but people are they catching on? Are people in Japan catching on?
I think there's a lot of people catching on. I mean, remember, we only see the American, Canadian YouTube stuff, the stuff that's happening over in Europe. I've seen different languages. People send, well, I mean, you've seen some of the channels. I've sent you a few. There's different languages that are picking up on this all the time. It's hard for me to, I have to actually go through the videos and look at, see what they're actually putting up on screen and watching their inflections. Like, guys, I can't decipher the language. But it's incredible the amount of different cultures that are picking up on this. So yeah, I think it's all over the place. I heard last year that it was already circulating through China. And why not? Because outside of the United States, you shouldn't believe us. Look, Americans lie.
Right.
We lie about everything.
most countries have known about this for a while. I know in England, they made fun of our space program, even in movies, James Bond movies.
James Bond, Diamonds Are Forever, Sean Connery.
And yeah, so it's sad. Most Americans think that other countries and other people who live in other countries wish they were Americans and are very jealous of us. And I remember even back in high school, people would be saying, oh, you go to so-and-so country and you can sell a pair of Levi jeans for $300. They want those jeans. They want a piece of America that bad.
Yeah.
But it seems like, unless the people don't really have pants at all, that people don't really want a piece of America as much. They see America for what it is. Trump is the perfect president for America. And I know politics is fake and it's elected, not elected, but a big fake blowhard. Hey.
Oh yeah. You couldn't get more. It's almost like a caricature of what a president should be.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Rich, Mr. Big, Mr. Big.
Yeah. Scrooge McDuck, or who's the Daddy Warbucks.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm not going to say that I don't love America. I don't consider myself an American. I don't consider myself anything other than a person. I know I'm a woman, 100% born and raised a woman, although there's been this weird thing, that conspiracy that I'm a man lately, which is odd. But I don't consider myself a woman in that I don't have the traditional perspective. Like, I'm not a feminist. You know what I'm saying? I don't identify with American things or feminist things. I'm a person with my own views and ideas. And it is embarrassing when you come across people from other countries who see you as being an American and bad. It's like, I don't identify as being Caucasian. Although if I had to write it on a piece of paper, I'm technically pretty darn Caucasian. But I don't think of myself as being any different than anybody else of any color. So we're all the same.
By the way, you're on the plane. You realize that behind you is just a whole bunch of Americana.
No, that's not Americana. We've got the Union Jack flag, and we've got a bunch of UK the Morrissey and the Smiths albums.
I got you.
Right here is this Wurlitzer jukebox, though, is American made. So
all right,
mix of my heritage going on here. But yeah, definitely. You're right. I'm an American, but I'm not going to ever wear anything that has an American flag on it or an American flag pin. That just doesn't seem to be me.
Well, you know me. I mean, America, I understand what it is and how we got here. We lied, cheated, stole,
exactly. You can't be proud of it. You can't be proud. I don't think anybody can be proud of where they're from, because you didn't decide to be born in Zimbabwe any more than you decided to be born in England or America. It just happened.
No.
As far as we know.
Yeah. America, we hype up a lot of our stuff, air shows, monster truck rallies.
Everything's big and loud.
Yeah, big, loud.
Just like Trump.
Yeah, just like Trump.
All right. Steve Harris writes, Patricia, I really liked your interview with Russian Vids. That guy's amazing. How does he see so much in videos that would totally fool the average person? I know they all fooled me. He's really teaching me to look for the 33s, the hand signs, and other Masonic imagery. I think he was the main person to expose the crisis actors too, for me. And when he entered the Flat Earth arena, he sure did an excellent job. I love that he's a believer in God as well. He talks almost faster than I can listen. I think he's just so excited about everything he's doing. Maybe you can have him on again. It's true. He also did a live stream the other day, and he's been doing this lately, live shows like the show here. Yeah. And I went in and met a bunch of people that I didn't know and didn't know me, which was cool, because he's got a crossover audience of people who aren't flat earthers who watch his stuff for conspiracy, and he's got the flat earther conspiracy audience. So I think it was great for me to meet new people. And actually, a couple of the people in our live chat today are people that I met through Russian Vids, and they're joining us here now because we really are kind of in the same melting pot together. He goes on to write, like I told Mark Sargent, you two will go down in history along with all the other flat earthers in exposing the ball earth and bringing the flat earth back to the public consciousness. This is huge for all of us. I also think you said a wise thing when you said, some people just aren't ready to get this yet. Give them time. I think that's totally true. My brother and his wife thought I was crazy a year ago. I let it sink in, and they began to look into it on their own. And now they see the flat earth. It just took some time. So that's from Steve from Minnesota.
Yeah, that's cool.
You got to give some people time. I wasn't convinced by somebody screaming at me, "Flat Earth's true." I
Nobody
just
is.
watched some videos on my own in the quiet of my own home.
Yeah.
And figured it out. So when you're trying to tell people about it, just give them some information and tell them, I'll be here if you've got any more questions. And either you'll hear stunning stone cold silence or you'll get some questions. And, you cannot continually spoon feed somebody, but sending somebody a couple videos and then suggesting they do their own research is a totally awesome thing to do.
Yeah, and it works. And now there's so much content that you can type in flat Earth plus the words of whatever aspect you want to look into, and there's bound to be, a bunch of videos on that topic. Whether you're talking about gravity or the sun or the moon or 8 inches per mile or everything about any space program, that's awesome. By the way, quick shout out to Flat Earth Asshole for making a video called "How to Make a Flat Earth Video."
Yeah, that's good.
I listened to the whole thing and I was going, good points.
Job. Good job. He's been putting out some good ones. Yeah. We've got an email from Jack Frost, who is commenting about our previous show and says, we are thankful that Brian Mullen sounds like he's doing okay. We hope and pray for his continued success and involvement in flat Earth research. This is a theory that Jack has said. I thought one possibility is that his company may have asked him to remove himself from all flat Earth topics, as it may put their whole corporation in an odd negative light, impacting their client-customer relations. Just a thought. So this is something that is possible. People were saying all sorts of things after our show last Wednesday. That, he's gone concave, or he's found out flat Earth is a lie. And then, of course, we talked to his wife, Nicole, or Bob from Globebusters did, and many people emailed. Turned out he's totally fine. He's doing okay. And he's just keeping it on the down low for the moment. But it could be something involving his job. Yeah. Who knows?
I mean, I'm not worried about his beliefs. As you know, nobody... I suppose you could quote a few people, but I have not seen anyone convincingly leave flat Earth and go back to the globe. Now they may
people, but they weren't committed to begin with.
Yeah,
they were one of those sorts of people who just gets involved in something to jump in with the cool kids or be part of a group.
Are we talking about who I think you're talking about?
Have social issues, mental issues.
Yeah. There's, again, I quoted a thing when I was talking to League of Nerds. I said, look, we got a 99.9% retention rate. Find that in any other group that's in an industrialized civilization. Find that in anything. I don't care if it's a religion, a social group. I don't care what it is. You're not going to find that sort of retention rate, and that is you can't go back.
And when you find somebody who is very much a flat earther, and whether or not they were a person who was nice to other flat earthers or were horribly evil to other flat earthers, but they considered themselves a flat earther, and they made lots of videos about flat Earth, and then they start making lots of videos against flat Earth, it just shows me that they just want attention. They didn't have a belief pro or con. They just wanted to jump in on the bandwagon. So,
Yeah, I mean, you can't, I mean, there's so much content out there that once you're in, you're in. You're not going to be able to prove yourself that it's a globe. Now, you may be able to distance yourself from flat Earth for a while, but you're certainly not. Then you're going to be in limbo. Then you're stuck between you trying to push yourself away from flat Earth and the globe you cannot reach again. You're in purgatory.
Here's an email from, let's see, Shane O'Malley. He says, the big learning curve is there's no curve. The Earth is flat. I just want to say hi to you, Patricia and Mark. And Mark reminds me of Bill Murray for some reason in the good way.
Why does everybody keep saying that?
I love Bill Murray, though, so it's a positive.
I guess.
He says, my name's Shane. I'm 55. I live in McLaren Vale, South Australia. And he said he landed on the plane only 8 weeks ago, February 20th, 2017. Nice. So he just went on to talk about the fact that he is a grandfather and has a 16-year-old son and a 23-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old grandson. And he just says to keep shining our light. So, yeah, we're all doing it. We're all trying to do it. We're all trying to do whatever we can. That's why there's these 24-hour hangouts. That's why there's no... We want to try to affect change, because although this world can be wonderful, beautiful, magical, and I love it. I love being alive. I love all the wonderful experiences I've had. I even love the horrible experiences I've had because they've taught me things. And I've grown as a person because of them. But there's so much darkness, so much horribleness in the world. And a lot of it is because of the lies that we've been told. And so what we all want to do who are involved in this thing is be a part of helping to change things. Now, what will the change be if we're successful? I have no idea. But when you look at the bad stuff, the change can't be any worse than the bad stuff.
Can't be any worse than what we're doing right now. Well, I mean, of course it can. I mean, but at the same time, we've already thought of that, and we could still go down that road anyway.
Right, exactly. If you think that flat Earth will eventually create mayhem and whatever on Earth,
the end of civilization as well. Yeah, the buildings burning. It's like, yeah, but we could do that now anyway.
Right, exactly.
So flat Earth just, at least when flat Earth, you're doing something that has a chance.
Flat Earth has a nobility to it as well. I consider all of my fellow flat earthers as having a noble character, because you've decided to basically put your neck on the line and take all the abuse and potentially the rejection and issues with your job and your wife or your husband or your children and carry on with your head held high. And there's a nobility to it, which is why I don't like when flat earthers attack each other, because there's no nobility in that. We're all on the same team.
Agreed.
So what else do we have here? Warren Souza says, if it means anything to you, I love listening to your shows. It is a very difficult task to defeat occult societies. They have all of the resources of the world at their disposal, and even if they make a mistake, it'll be a small one and easily covered up. They can track all of our communications, hack into databases anywhere, recover info from deleted hard drives. They know more about our psychology and what motivates people more than people know or care to know about themselves. It's an unfair fight. They're willing to lie repeatedly to get their way, and even if they get caught, they can probably pay off judges to ignore their mistakes. He continues, I'm in a legal battle in Canada against a company owned by a MP, Member of Parliament. I'm about to find out if there is justice in the world. The trial is scheduled for April 25th, so 10 days from now. I'm going to hammer them or be hammered. But the main thing is that the info that comes out will be made public, and a whole industry could fall. So people are fighting the Illuminati, if there is such a thing as the Illuminati. And using the word Illuminati has all sorts of connotations. I always just say the powers that should not be, because I don't know who to blame. I mean, people say it's the Zionists. People say it's the Jesuits. People say it's the Masons, the kings, the rich people.
The Bilderbergers, the Rothschilds, the Trilateral, the Council for Foreign Relations.
There's good people involved in almost all of those things, you know. Normal, innocent people who want the best, and they don't even know they're involved in something. But there are people at the top who have nefarious
exactly. Lots of people's grandfathers worked at NASA.
Exactly. Lots of people's grandfathers were Masons.
There you go.
Exactly. So what matters is what you're doing with your life right now. And
there you go.
Fighting it by being a part of something greater than you are. That's what we all are doing. Doesn't mean you have to have a channel. Doesn't mean you have to make videos. Doesn't mean you need to participate in live chats or write emails or, go out to events like Infinite Plane Society did. Get people to come out and hold signs and talk about things like, for Flat Earth Day that just happened. Just knowing it in your heart, you're doing something, you're changing something, because I don't know if the butterfly effect is true, but it seems to be the case that everything that you do, there are repercussions. If you took a right instead of a left on your way to go drop your kids off today, different circumstances could have occurred. So as long as we push forward, I think the circumstances that come at the very least are going to be highly interesting.
Very, no doubt.
Well, we have only a few more moments left. I'm going to go back into the live chat and see what's going on. And anything else you need to get out?
The Carly Sunshine, I want to thank her real quick because I'm going to she sent me a whole bunch of her slides. She's actually quite handy with graphics.
Carly Sunshine is wonderful. If you're not subscribed to her channel, you should, because she's smart, kind, sweet, loving, supportive, pretty.
She sent me 50 images, and I'm going to use I'm going to use them in my Strange World slideshows, starting with episode 103, which is next week.
All right. That sounds pretty neat.
Yeah.
And if you've got any images that you'd like me to use as a thumbnail for one of my future videos, you can send it to me and I would love it, which is just a picture that I could use to make the picture that when you look for videos, it's the first picture that shows. That's what a thumbnail is. A lot of people don't know when you use
Patricia Steere with YouTube instructional.
No, but it's true. When you use the term thumbnail, I mean, I don't think I knew what that was at first.
Really?
No, I mean, no one knows what that is at first, right away.
And yet you actually made it to this hangout.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
There was issues, and there was issues last week starting a Google Hangout. And we had been told through the grapevine that Google Hangouts would end at the end of April.
Well, a particular app was going to end part of it. So apparently there's a workaround.
Yes. And some people were having issues starting their Hangouts, and it's been happening for a while. And it happened to me again today. Oh, and I do want to let people know that on Thursday, which is tomorrow, April 27th, I will have as my guest Mike Williams. He is the host of the Sage of Quay Radio Hour. If you've not subscribed to the Sage of Quay Radio Hour channel on YouTube, you should. He's interviewed tons of interesting people, including myself. Not that I'm an interesting person, but lots of flat earthers and lots of people on all sorts of interesting topics that all of us in the flat earth world are keen on. So Mike Williams, the Sage of Quay. So
every time I hear that name, it makes me hungry because it sounds like a high-end restaurant entree.
Sage of Quay. Would you like that medium rare?
I would actually.
I'm hungry right now myself.
What sides do I get with that?
Side of flat earth.
I see what you did there. Yeah. That's good. Also, I'm going to release the Flat Earth license plate compilation for May this weekend. And the thumbnail
will be Candy Franklin's.
No, I already used Candy Franklin. No, Candy Franklin's will be in there, but I already used hers I wanted to get that thing out as soon as possible. So I used that for the Q&A 33. But no, it's going to be, the thumbnail is going to be the Virgin Islands, because that one surprised me when I got it. It's flat United States Virgin Islands. I didn't realize they had their own freaking plate down there. So that was really awesome. It was, bright blue with a, beach.
Right.
Beach scene.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that. I want to say hello to Cammie and Zulu One and Wesley Stace, Flat Earth News, who I have told him before in a hangout I did with Candy Franklin on her channel that I do not know how to play my guitar. I can only kind of strum it poorly, and that he was willing to give me lessons, lessons online, I guess, which would be pretty fun. Nice. Might even make a good video.
He actually called Strange World last night, 4 minutes after the show ended. He didn't look at the clock.
Oh, no.
So he calls up and goes, West States, Flat Earth News. I go, West, the show's been over for a while
now. I just want to say hi to everyone who's here. Joy4118 and a bunch of other people. JM Truth TV. Hey, hello. And Kado Senlawi as well. He says he's got a question for you, Mark. And he didn't put the question, but if you've got a question for Mark, you can message him easily.
How did he not put the question?
I don't know. He just said he has a question for you. So it's msargent23 at comcast.net.
That's MSARGENT 23 at comcast.net.
One of my favorite YouTuber channel names, Scuba Dracula Effie Rocker.
Wow.
is in here. I want to say hi as well. And so you can email anything to Mark or me at Miss Steere, MISSSTEERE at gmail.com. A picture for a thumbnail that you want the picture out there. And I'll mention you who put the picture up or anything else. And somebody here says that you and I seem as if we're a couple the way we talk. We are a couple. We're a couple of flat earthers.
Good save.
But
nice.
We are a couple. I mean, we've been doing these shows.
We've been doing a lot of shows
for a long time.
Yeah.
Through all sorts of crazy ups and
we're
downs.
We're a team.
We're like this. Fingers crossed. Where did this come from, by the way?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, it's probably Masonic.
Probably something bad. I think it has to do with broken bones, actually.
I feel there was holding one
Seriously,
together.
I'm pretty sure it has something.
One props up the other, which is what friends do. I got your back kind of thing.
Because you gotta have friends.
Well, I want to thank all my flat earth friends for being here today. I appreciate it. And that's it for me, and that's it for you. And I feel like there's things I said I was going to talk about that we didn't talk about, but it doesn't matter because the show's over.
That's right.
There's always next time. Go home.
You don't have to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here.
Or as the song goes, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
That's what, yeah.
Is the same song?
Well, no, but it's a version.
Closing time.
Closing time, yeah.
Who said bye? I don't know. It doesn't matter. All right. Till we meet again, I am about now to take off my jacket. And
no, don't do that.
See you next time. Episode 156 coming to a close. Keep it flat.
Seriously, like.
Yeah. Keep it flat.